Number one wide receiver, Dakorien Moore. Now, Dakorien Moore, it's an interesting recruitment because 3 weeks ago, the number one wide receiver in America decommitted from LSU. This weekend, he was back on campus, and we want to know if LSU has a shot at getting the number one wide receiver back on their commit list.
Well, I had a chance to talk to Dakorien Moore's mother, Marjan Moore, late Sunday night about the experience. Billy Embody from our LSU affiliate at On3 spoke with Dakorien. The returns are strong coming from both of them. I also talked to a couple sources in Baton Rouge that spent some time with the Moore family. They think they're in the top two. And talking to Marjan Moore, reading Billy's interview with Dakorien, I certainly wouldn't argue that. However, the Moore family, they have great personalities. They really like the four schools in play. So I think if you make calls to people around Columbus, calls to people around Eugene, and certainly people around Austin, everyone feels optimistic about their position. So that tells me this is going to be a tough decision in the end for Dakorien Moore because he really likes his four finalists. But regarding LSU, he was the only visitor on campus this past weekend, Josh. Marjan Moore told me that solo OVs are the new wave and more families should do it. Not many families are going to get that type of treatment. No. Dakorien Moore, one of the elite players in the country, the number one receiver, 5-star plus prospect, very important to LSU as they try and build on a recruiting class ranked number 2 nationally. They brought him in, tried to remind him why he committed to LSU in the first place. Jamar Chase is his favorite player. He's building a relationship with him. They love the track record of receiver development at LSU. His mom called it the electrifying receivers that have come out of there beforehand. They just got a lot of that one-on-one time with Coach Hankton, Coach Joe Sloan, certainly Brian Kelly. They left LSU feeling very good about the Tigers. We know LSU is going to be competitive in all arenas with Dakorien Moore moving forward in this recruitment. He still has his official visits to Texas and Oregon coming up, was already at Ohio State. But LSU, they went from decommitment, not on the official visit list, to him canceling overtime OT7, getting LSU on the visit list this past weekend, to being blown away by a great, intimate official visit. And don't count the Tigers out for him moving forward. Don't count him out for Jamie French. Don't count him out for Khalil Lockett. LSU trying to sign one of the best receiver classes in the country. They have the top quarterback in the boat in Bryce Underwood, and now they're in the thick of it again for Dakorien Moore.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago when Dakorien Moore decommitted from LSU, we were talking about the trio of 5-stars in Khalil Lockett, Jamie French, and Dakorien Moore, now trending to Texas. But 3 weeks later, even after the decommitment, it still feels like LSU has a real shot to sign that trio as well. You said he's got 2 more visits to go. Do you think that he told us he's going to make a decision this summer, probably in July at some point? Do you think that in the end, this LSU visit might be too far in the rear view, or was it such a great trip, that one-on-one interaction, that this will last up until he makes his final decision?
Well, I think he's going to try and make his final decision before his senior season, before they go out there and defend that state championship at Duncanville. So LSU, they were just trying to fit in, Josh. They weren't even on the itinerary. So they took what they could get and then crushed it. And look, again, he committed to LSU. So there were some fond feelings for LSU. He just needed to go back and see some more intricacies of the program, how they develop their players, what they do academically. And I think LSU crushed that. And he's going to make his decision before the season. But these schools are all going to stay on top of them because games are going to be played, seasons are going to be fluid. And anytime a prospect decommits, I think that they become someone that schools just stay on all the way to the finish line. And that will be the case with Dakorien Moore, no matter what he decides to do in late June or July, whatever he decides to do before his senior season. These schools that don't hear their names called the second time are still going to try and stay in communication and see what happens during the fall.
All right, LSU fans, Texas fans even, how we feeling about Dakorien Moore after this latest visit? Let us know, comment section below.